Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo here for the Startership contest just before we start this Bensday with Batgirl and Ben. And this week it's Toshi Bowser, so just get me your information on how to send this to you and I'll get it to Ben. He's going to start sending them out in the next couple of weeks. Thank you very much for participating. If you too would like to participate in the Startership contest, you have to be a new, not a current backer. Actually, you can't be a backer. You just have to be a new sign up on the RSI website, and they'll check in to see the legitimacy of that. And we'll randomly pick these and give them out on each show. And with that, let's get into today's show with Batgirl and Ben. Hello, everyone. It's Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo here again for another one of our Bensdays with Batgirl and Ben. Good afternoon, Ben. How are you today?
Hey, not too bad. How you doing?
I'm doing well until I realize that it's probably just getting into the early evening over there, isn't it?
It is 4:30 right here.
Ah, cool. So I guess you're not lucky enough to have one of these right now. No.
If that was a Coke Zero, then yes.
It is red and black, so it could be. So last week we were talking candidly about one of the ships that's coming up, the Endeavor, and you mentioned that it was going to be more sciencey, and you have a different idea for what the hospital ship was going to be, and then all poop, it's like all the poop hit the fan, and all hell broke loose, and there were multiple, topics on general chat and all over the place. What exactly happened with what we said?
I don't know. It means people are excited, I guess.
Yeah.
But I will assure everybody out there that both the science and the hospital ships are in good hands. They're both ideas we believe in. Like any ship, they go through changes in the design process, but they're both going to be cool. And I think essentially they're going to be exactly what everybody's expecting. So
okay. So if the hospital ship isn't the Endeavor, are you ready to tell us what it is?
We're actually looking at a couple different options,
Okay.
which range from like an overhaul of the Endeavor to being a pretty significantly different ship to basically just starting from scratch, doing something else. But we'll probably have that nailed down by the time the Endeavor is ready to show off.
Okay. I mean, when you think about it, when you look at the United States Navy's hospital ships, they're nothing to jump up and down about going and purchasing. They serve a purpose. They're not beautiful. They're not fast. They're not sleek. They're not, they just have a lot of...
I think that should be a pretty valuable ship for folks who want to pledge, just because of how they'll tie into the FPS mechanic.
Okay.
If you're off fighting these huge ground battles, it'll be a big help to have a medical ship. And we know that, and we believe in it.
All right. Well, I was going to ask you a question about that, but basically for the folks over at that wonderful group, Operation Pitchfork. So the hospital ship is going to have a big role to play in situations in FPS. What about in major ship engagements like what we're planning inside of Operation Pitchfork?
I would say not as much in a ship engagement. Vacuum is one of those things where it'll kill you much more quickly than you can recover.
Okay.
But it will definitely have a role to play.
All right.
I think especially with large ship engagements, probably you'll have a lot more collateral damage where crews are being injured and you need to recover. Because actually, when you get to something the size of a Bengal, your crew, sheer number of crew is a number you have to mediate.
Right. I look at it from the point of view that large ship engagements, I always think that they're going to be boarded, like the opening scene in Star Wars Episode 4, the first one, the best. Yeah. So I really think that that's something that I hope comes into play. Like I hope that we have a lot of these engagements that are hand to hand on the ships, or boarding operations like that. So do you think in Operation Pitchfork there'll be opportunities to board Vanduul ships, or is that just something you do with other players?
I think for sure Operation Pitchfork will be boarding Vanduul ships.
Okay.
We have our own plans for Operation Pitchfork here that I can't reveal yet.
All right. So you're countering what we're planning. Sorry about that. It's what you're planning.
Some of the guys upstairs have something they call Operation Iron Hay Bale, which is the internal response to
You just started about 7 more threads, right?
For
Operation
sure.
Hay Bale, was that what it's called?
No, iron hay bale.
Oh, Iron Hay Bale. Okay.
Because you try to pick an iron hay bale with your pitchfork, it's going to get stuck.
Okay. Looks like we're gonna have a lot of traffic going on. Oh, I think we already have some. All right, so let's get into this week's questions, and that will save me from having to ask them at the end of this episode. So hopefully my allergies last. Hey, whoever you are back there. So Yoko said,
That's Thomas Hennessy. He's our video guy.
"Oh, awesome!
Should say TV and everything else.
Oh, wow, cool." So Yoko asked, "Can Ben please give info on CitizenCon, which I see is up there today."
Yeah, that's up now.
Yeah, as I am begging here to know what is happening. So what essentially got announced today with CitizenCon?
We put the tickets on sale, announced the venue, time, all that. The normal event details.
Okay.
It's going to be a good one. It's at I guess they call it a visitor center at the Manchester airport, so the whole event can take place underneath Concord. They have stored there.
Awesome.
It's going to be pretty cool. Over 100 staff from UK and Germany will be on hand.
And my ticket's in the mail, right?
Let me wait for mine first.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right, and Dren, which, I'm sorry, but who would name themselves Dren after Farscape? Where's that Drell? I can't remember. Well, it's like they have this language that whenever there's a curse word, they change it into something else. So I think that in Farscape that meant something else. Will there be?
I remember thinking that was really cool when I was in high school, and then when I look back on like Battlestar Galactica, there was no space. Everybody that doesn't.
Yeah, frack, frel, fring. Yeah.
Tange.
Well, geek is in now. Too bad we weren't able to go through high school now instead of when we did, when we were like cast outs, right? Cast offs. Yeah. Cast off. All right. Will there be FTL communications? And if so, how do they current envisioning working? Is there an iOS or Android app in the works? He's got a couple. So do you want to tackle those two for now?
Okay. Yes, there will be FTL communication. The speed at which information transmits from place to place plays a big part in the persistent universe, because the idea that information has value and power, and situations will change if you can outrun or intercept information. There will be FTL communication. I don't want to go into too much detail. That's definitely a Tony Zurevec persistent universe thing that they are working on.
It's also a big thing with the Herald, right?
Yeah, Herald's an information runner, so it protects very sensitive information. It also transmits. You're going to be seeing the Reliant News Van in the future, which is another role in that.
Built for me.
in that economy of information. Yes, the answer is yes. Okay. I guess I would encourage anybody who is interested in arcane Wing Commander lore, which anyone who's interested in arcane Wing Commander lore, that's the best kind of person. Check out some of the stuff Chris did in Wing Commander 4, some of the background information of the universe about how FTL communication with Jump Point works and how it slows things down. He built an interesting system that had nothing to do with the game, but you encounter it a bunch of times. Like you'll find, here's the main comm relay, and here's the comm relay station that's necessary. And there's some good lore there that you should folks could look at.
Okay, and I think if any of you can go back and look at all of the 10 for the Chairmans, Chris actually detailed what communications were going to be like inside of the Star Citizen universe in a couple of the 10 for the Chairmans. So there's a reliance on these communication stations and information runners for faster than light communication, correct?
Yes.
All right. So yes, there is. And the second one, is there an iOS or Android app in the works? Right now,
yes,
I think it's planned, right? Not in the works.
We've done some research into it. I don't think it's close at all, but we do have folks that I think Trevor that's responsible for that, and they've done some of their initial outlay. So it's coming.
I would love the app to look kind of like Mobiglass, and so I can like buy things in game or move my ships around in my hangar, those type of things.
I think you can pretty much guarantee that is what it would be like.
All right, cool. So All right, guys. So there you go. If we can have Moby Glass on our iPads and our Android tablets, that would be wonderful, and our phones and our watches. So that would be cool. So Celaya said, "Are we going to get the station returned to free flight anytime soon?" The station was in there invisibly. Do you remember that?
I do not remember that, honestly.
Well, yeah, I did a couple of videos on it, but why would you ever watch my videos, right, Ben?
My guess is no, but maybe.
Well, you know that it was there, right? So the station that right now you have the tutorial in it, it appeared in free flight, and it was like kind of invisible. As you got closer, you got to get inside of it, and it was dark. It was really a great piece of free flight where you can go and you could get out of your ship and you can walk around with your whole group, and that's something that they're looking for. I think that goes away with the social module, though, right?
I think there's no reason not to have it there. I will follow up with the guys upstairs to see why it was removed. I know no reason for it not to be there that I know of, so I will find out.
Then what I'll do is I will ask that again in a couple of weeks after you have an opportunity to check in on that, okay?
Okay.
All right, Mike Falco Nova Sealander. Oh, God. Long name. I would like you to get clarification from Ben whether or not we will be able to hire NPC wingmen and crew members in Star Citizen PU when it goes beta, gold, or at release. They want to know during beta or release or afterwards, are we going to be able to hire wingmen that are NPCs?
I would say this is, it's the kind of question that's very, very difficult to answer. You will be able to hire wingmen when the game is in release. I don't know if that will be functioning when beta hits. I don't know if it'll be functioning when alpha hits, any of those things. Just too difficult to tell the future to that amount of specificity, but it's in the plan. It will happen.
Okay. Randall 1 wants to know about your goals for machine specs. Have they changed? What are they for running the game silky, smooth, and fun when Squadron 42 comes out?
No change to the initial setups that's released. In fact, one thing we talked about on ATV this week with Travis and everybody is some of the optimization we're doing in preparation for exactly that. In fact, I think one of the things you'll see in the next patch, obviously the Arena Commander and the Scythe and all those, Star Marine and Scythe and all those cool things. But on the other side, the game now loads things into memory only when they're needed, which decreases loading and makes it a lot smoother. So I think we're still aiming for the same target spec system.
Okay, and you're doing the optimizations now, so we'll be able to test that over the next few months.
Yeah, absolutely. All
right. Pappy Boynton wants to know, how do you intend to keep people interested in the game for the long term?
I would say, hey, we've looked at our track record so far. Folks are still interested, and we haven't put out the game yet. So if we can keep this kind of engagement, no, but actually part of my job will be, as we move into release, to move from coming up with ways to engage the community, just keeping the miniatures in Star Citizen, to keeping the world alive. Events, changes to the game, and custom improvements, all that. I think if you're excited about Star Citizen when there's nothing to see, you're going to be a lot more when there's something to see, and it's just going to keep evolving. So,
okay.
One of the things we looked at very, 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 very early on was what a mess so many MMOs are in terms of adding content. I remember they put out Star Wars, the most recent Star Wars one, the Old Republic online game. And they were like, oh, we've been working for years, and we've got content that'll keep our players busy for 18 months. It was more like a week. So it's about coming up with a system that allows us to generate interaction on the fly rather than your every 6 month, every year content patch.
That's awesome. And is that one of the reasons why you got Jenny on board? I see that she seems to be like live. She does the live stuff, or is that different?
She does a lot of the live streaming, video stuff, so not necessarily the same game master type thing.
All right, cool.
But the people who are planning the community interaction will definitely have a big say in how the community interacts with the game down the road.
Okay. All right. Oh, lots of questions here, and I'm trying to pick through them to make sure I don't ask you too many today. I'm sorry, folks. Last week I didn't have enough. This week I have a lot, so I'm gonna put some to next week, so we don't keep Ben on the call for too long. Dirk Gently wants to know: could you expand a bit more on dynamic character skeletons from what we read in the monthly report? Do you have an idea what they're talking about?
I know what they're talking about. I am not the man to expand on it, though. That is far too inside for my.
Need to get somebody from Austin or from Boundary 42.
Yeah, probably somebody from the character team.
Boundary 42
or FPS or Phonic.
Yeah.
Totally technical stuff that I'm too stupid to understand.
Yeah, there's a lot of technical questions of jumping over today.
My understanding is we have gone from the fifth variant of the rig, which people probably saw before, to a new character rig that's V6, and it's going to have much more fluid motion. But I don't know the details of why it works, which frustrates me too.
Okay. I'm going to ask you two more questions because I'm starting to lose my voice.
Oh, no.
It's all of a sudden, it's allergies. Randall 1, he was listening to Reverse the Verse, and during Reverse the Verse, it was said that there was going to be a specific starter ship for each occupation. Does that imply we will see more new starter ships, or will they just be merely variants of the ones that we have?
You'll see more smaller ships. I don't want to call them, I found that we have a concept of what a starter ship is, and other people have a very different one. So I'm not going to call them starters, but you will see lesser, you'll see the road to the larger ships.
Okay. So you have this pathway that you have for every occupation and in some kind of idea, collective idea there, right?
Yeah. Okay. I don't even want to say it's every occupation, because our hope is to have it fluid enough that people can generate their own occupations.
Okay.
But certainly the big stuff you're thinking of, science, mining, pioneer, all that stuff.
Are you going to have any of those ships that might be a jack of all trades but a master of none?
Yeah, that's the goal of a lot, like the Aurora. I mean, that's the goal of what we call starters at first. The Aurora, the Mustang, the base 300 to some degree.
Okay. All right, so, and let's go see what Reaper has to say. As it stands now, the sounds we have are synthetic, external sound generated by the ship, which is cool, but I've noticed that when I EVA, I still hear said external. So he seems to be talking about the sound design inside of the game at this point. Is the sound design where it's going to be when the game is released, or is this just, are these just filler sounds for us to be able to get into the alpha?
It's nowhere near complete. Many things will change. But I'll caution you, in terms of sound in a space game, it's always going to be rule of cool over, hey, you can't hear anything in this game. It's so realistic. Your ship is generating in some cases. Your suit is generating it in others, maybe. We'll put it in the lore, but I don't think we're going to do that. Hey, you're out doing EVA and you can't hear anything. Unless, and I'm sure we'll try this, unless it turns out that's really cool. Which, now that I think about it, it could be. It could be a genuinely terrifying feeling to be outside your ship in the middle of a battle and have, lasers whizzing by and you don't hear them. So, we'll look at that.
Right. So, in the background over there, you have the next great starship check that went to the winners, right?
Yes.
Now, is there another contest starting, or is that just a check that was never cashed?
Secret of the reality TV show industry, not a real check, just a prop.
You can't cash that check?
Unfortunately, no. I'd like to try. We should probably do a segment where we do that.
That would be cool.
No, the TNDS check is, they call us a couple days after the last episode, like, you want to throw this away? We're like, can't think of any reason to keep it, but it would be a shame to let it just trash it.
Right.
So it's been hanging around the office, and it's right there because we shot We had to shoot ATV hosting twice this week. First, I did it Monday with Sandy, and the footage was unusable, not through any fault of our own. It was imperfection in the camera of some sort. So we had to shoot it again later in the day on Tuesday, and that thing was blocking the sun.
So, wow, that's great.
High-tech film production here.
Wow, awesome. So there was supposed to be a contest starting sometime in the spring or summer that Sandy was talking to me about when I was there. It was supposed to be the next great Star Citizen. Is that still on the board, or are we not getting into that this year?
We've talked about, we have some ideas. We want to do a character thing, or maybe a location next great Star System. It's back burner for now, but it's something we would like to go back to, because I know she had a great time with that.
Right.
And the community certainly did.
I'm happy with you guys just putting the nose to the grindstone and getting the game out on time. So that's pretty much what everybody wants to see, right?
Although I will say we got some excellent talent out of that. We have 2 or 3 of the folks who worked on TNGS ships here.
I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it was beneficial all around. It cost us pretty much nothing to do. We have at least 2 ships that are going to be in the game from it, probably more.
Oh, now see, now you just opened the can of worms again.
Is
it the boom slang, or is it the or is it the, what was the other one that is scimitar, right? Okay, so I don't know, Ben. You can't be saying things like that. Actually, that's free publicity. Thank you. No, no, but folks, honestly, we've had quite a number of polls that have gone on in general chat in the mod forums from talking to Ben on bringing TNGS ships to our game, and I think that they are working hard to take care of whatever we were looking at. So hopefully they listened to us and are bringing the top 2 that we wanted, which I think is the boom slang and the scimitar, but we'll see. All right, Ben, thanks. I appreciate it. Are you around next week, or are you at E3?
Everything varies. I may or may not be at E3. I've got my tickets. Last year it was going to be my first E3 ever, and I just ended up getting too busy. It's certainly possible that'll happen again. If anybody out there is at E3, I give my people a day off to go. So look for James, Lando, Jenny during the show. I hope to get there myself, but if not, I'll be here.
All right, and I guess that will be it. So what day is good for you next week then? Earlier in the week, I take it then. Right?
Let's try earlier in the week.
All right, I'll shoot early. So folks, get your questions in rapidly, because if I need to talk to Ben, it's probably going to be Monday or Tuesday next week, okay? And with that said, you all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon.